So let's get started. So we're going to walk through a little bit of history on about with Kiwanis and Riley. So you can see that the top picture that is the original building of Riley Hospital. And in 1919, as some of you probably already know, the Indiana District of Kiwanis began fundraising for the hospital, and we did not open our doors until 1924. 1,200 kids were treated in the first year alone, and Kiwanis was the only association who was actually fundraising for the hospital before the doors opened. So that is something that we're all very excited about, and there's just so much history, which we'll learn a little bit about through these slideshows. And if you've ever had the opportunity to walk through the hospital, you have probably seen that Kiwanis is just about in every hallway of the hospital. So in 1926, Indiana District Kiwanis raised $150,000 for the Kiwanis K Wing to be built. The original cornerstone can still be seen in the Kiwanis courtyard, and we'll learn a little bit about that, the wall with the cornerstone in a little bit. In 1958, the Kiwanis Diagnostic and Outpatient Center opened, and the Kiwanis K Wing was actually remodeled in 1975. And if you can see in the top left picture, that is the original part of the hospital. If you really look at the hard at the top left corner, you can kind of see the Simon Family Tower, which peers up over the original building. So you can see that the Kiwanis K Wing and the wall is right smack dab in the middle of all of our buildings. So it's hard to miss, and it's something that we're really excited to still have there. So that is the Kiwanis Miracle Wall. And as you can see, at the end of that wall is the original cornerstone of the hospital. We actually unveiled this wall in 2004 as a gift to Kiwanis, thanking all of you for all that you've done for the hospital and for allowing us to open our doors because of all of your fundraising efforts to begin with. So you can see in the top right picture, those are some of the plaques that were placed on the wall, on the Kiwanis Miracle Wall. And that is actually part of our fundraising initiative for this new campaign, which we'll learn a little bit about here in a few minutes. In 2004, Kiwanis' first MICU, which is a mobile intensive care unit, was released to the fleet of ambulances. And there is a photo of one of our MICUs. It's essentially an ICU on wheels. They pick up anything from adults to 2-pound babies, and truly make such a difference in the life-saving chance for any of our patients. So 2009, Kiwanis pledged $1 million for the Path to a Cure for Diabetes research. 2013, you pledged $450,000 to support the Child Life program. That top left picture is a picture of our Child Life zone in the hospital. It's basically a fun zone for the kids to come down from their rooms and play the Wii, play an Xbox, some pool. You can do just about anything. There's more crafts in the Child Life Zone than there are at Michael's or Joanne Fabrics. Unfortunately, the Child Life Zone is now closed, as you can imagine, with our COVID restrictions. The patients are required to stay in their rooms, so they're unable to come down to the Child Life Zone. So we put a plan in place to ensure that we're still able to entertain the kids from their rooms. So they push a cart through the hallways called Zone to Go, and it has the activity for the day, and then they can turn their channels, their TVs to channel 5 in their room for Kids 5 TV. And one of the Child Life specialists walks them through that craft. So it's like they're doing it together, but from their own beds. So they've really thought outside the box, and it's just been really cool to watch. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can actually follow the Riley Hospital Child Life Zone page, and it shows some of the cool activities that they do. So it's been really neat to see some of the child life specialists that I work with really think outside the box to go that extra mile for the kids like they always do. So in 2019, as most of you know, you completed a $1 million pledge for the Three Wishes program and really made such a huge impact in the state of Indiana. The wait for an early detection for autism screening was well over a year before you kicked off the Three Wishes program, and now it's just under 6 weeks for an appointment, even with COVID restrictions in place. So it has made such a huge impact throughout the entire state, and something that you should all be very proud of. We kicked off the maternal fetal medicine specialist endowment during the pandemic in 2020, and you all have done such a great job. I know that a lot of clubs have been discouraged or nervous about it, but I truly believe that even during the pandemic, you've blown me away with the hard work and dedication towards this new initiative. So we'll dive into that and learn a little bit about that. Here's just a little more history of the 100 years of service. Some of the things I've already mentioned, the Kiwanis Parent Comfort Cart, which is something that's very near and dear to me. And I know that several of you, including Taka, pushed that cart, volunteer to push the cart through the hospital, and just makes such a big difference, and something that's very meaningful to me as a Riley mom, and something that I really missed when I was inpatient with my little girl in March with all the COVID restrictions. Nobody could leave their rooms, and of course we can't have volunteers at the hospital. So it just is one thing that I truly did miss during our most recent stay. So here are some pictures, like a little virtual tour through the hospital. The Kiwanis Red Wagon Corral is where the Parent Comfort Cart is stored. And then you can see some pictures of our new cart, and that's a picture of my little baby girl. She's 2.5 now. We have unfortunately had 3 inpatient stays and 6 visits to Riley. She made me a Riley mama, and really just truly put so much more passion into my job, and why I'm so beyond grateful to work for a hospital that has saved my baby girl's life. She's doing well, but one of the things that we've found, unfortunately discovered during the pandemic, is that she just responds to illness differently than most kids. And instead of spiking a fever to fight off infection, Cassidy's heart rate increases, and it just dehydrates her little body, and she just snowballs. So something like COVID could, in a nutshell, could be very traumatic and deadly to our little girl. So we're taking every precaution necessary, as you can imagine, and she'll most likely be home from daycare starting on Monday, which she's not going to be excited about. But we really have to be cautious with her, and it's one thing that I'm just so beyond grateful to have an infectious disease team at Riley that has our back, and they've been so good to us. So that's a little bit of my story and an update on our story. And I think it's just truly important for everyone to see a glimpse into that room where all of your donations are stored, because I know a lot of you donate items to that, and that room is just, it's so heartwarming to walk into that room and see all of the donations that are donated from the state of Indiana, and all of the really cool details that are put into that cart to just make it magical for our parents and guardians who are there with our patients. Well, there we go. So here is a few pictures of James Wickham Riley himself, as you can see, with the international president while he was here. And then the bottom picture is a picture of the Riley Safety Store that is right inside the Riley Outpatient Center. And it's a space that everyone can take advantage, from the general public to any of our patients and families. They sell anything from fire detectors and autism kits to sleep sacks and sunscreen, you name it. They truly have it. It started with the car seat program, and something that Kiwanis backed, and it's just grown into so much, and is truly just makes such an impact. Something that I take advantage of for sure. The top right picture is a picture down the hallway as you walk right past the Kiwanis elevators, looking out to the Kiwanis Miracle Wall. And that shows the difference of the buildings, of the historical buildings, of the facade from the original buildings with the Simon family tower in the background. So as you can see, that's a main hallway and everyone walks by to see that Kiwanis Miracle Wall. So this is a glimpse of our patient rooms, because a lot of you hopefully have never seen the inside of a patient room at Riley. So you can see that the child, that's the child's bed, and the wall behind is where you see all of the machines. We try very hard to keep the machines behind the patient so they're not constantly staring at them. Of course, they still have to hear the beeping, but we try to keep everything behind the patient so that they can, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind as much as possible, of course. And then you can see they have a TV in their room. Every room has a Wii, and then they can check out the games from their TV. And then that teal couch pulls out into a bed, if that's what you want to call it. You can't really see in this picture, but I think this is the rendering from the original Simon family tower. But the parent or guardian also has their own TV, and there's a curtain to pull, and that just provides a little more privacy for the patient if they need it, or for the parents. So they have their own little area. And then this is a sneak peek into our maternity and NICU room. So as most of you might know by now, we are not currently delivering. We do not currently have the ability to deliver babies at Riley Hospital for Children. The babies are often delivered at Methodist, if downtown, or transferred from throughout the state. And then they go to our NICU, which has about 60 beds right now. And in most cases, the NICU is full. We're currently under construction. It was supposed to open with hopes of spring 2021, but as you can imagine, that's been delayed. We just found out on Wednesday or yesterday that unfortunately it looks more like fall of 2021 when the new tower will open. So we're really excited about this opportunity. As some of you know, if you know anything about our new campaign, Indiana loses over 600 babies a year to infant mortality, and maternal mortality rate is just astronomical, and something that we're really trying to impact and change. So we're excited for this new maternity and newborn tower to open to try to tackle that initiative. So why do Indiana babies and moms need our support? We rolled out the Delivering Hope and Health campaign to provide life-saving support for babies and moms, with the goals of earlier prenatal diagnosis of congenital anomalies, more immediate diagnosis and care for moms with high-risk pregnancies, improved infant survival rates, statewide education about safe sleep practices, with a goal to give every Hoosier a chance for a healthy start to life. So what will our Kiwanis campaign provide? We will be establishing a maternal fetal medicine specialist endowment. Riley Hospital is recruiting up to 12 maternal fetal medicine specialists to care for mothers with high-risk pregnancies. And this will address a shortage of critical care in our state. So a lot of people, hopefully don't know what a maternal fetal medicine specialist does and the importance of it. So I always just like to explain a little bit. This picture really shows a great example of what an MFM specialist does for a mother. So they work with mothers with high-risk pregnancies. And I can give you an example. I have a colleague who unfortunately lost her baby at 32 weeks about a year and a half ago. So she is, thank goodness, by the grace of God, pregnant again. But as you can imagine, she's very high risk, and they're watching her very closely. She meets with our top MFM specialist at Riley, and she has an appointment 2 times a week. And they go through what you'll see in the picture, a very detailed ultrasound where it's basically the point system. They go through and they check every little detail that might be of concern, whether it's the blood pressure, the heart rate, the fluid around the baby, the movements that the baby is making, you name it, they double check it to ensure that, nothing slips under the radar and they're watching their um, moms very closely. Let's see, go into, and then one of the things that we are trying to tackle, in addition to, of course, the fundraising part of it, we needed a boots on the ground project. A lot of people are like, we want to make a difference with endowment, of course, but what can we do to educate our communities? So we are asking Kiwanis to help spread the word about the importance of safe sleep. This is the top reason of, why it's such an issue. Why do we have over 600 babies in the state of Indiana that don't see their first birthday? And a lot of it is due to the fact that people aren't practicing safe sleep. A lot of babies go home and they don't have their own place to sleep, or they're sleeping with mom and dad. They fall asleep with mom and dad in their bed or on the couch. We're all tired when we have babies. Been there, done that twice. I totally get it. But it's also, unfortunately, one of the biggest risks and one of the biggest issues that we're facing. So we're asking everyone to follow the ABCs of safe sleep, all by myself, on my back, and in my crib. And one of the easiest ways to do this is, we have these safe sleep cards. If you're going to your doctor, just drop one off and just let people know that that's something that Kiwanis is trying to tackle. Or if and when we all have events, in-person events again, and you have a table, I can give you some flyers to put out and put a baby doll on the table, just like the baby you see in the picture wearing a sleep sack. And that's basically, it looks like a sack with armholes for the arms, of course. And then you can zip the baby up. And then from newborn to 3 months, they're in a swaddle, as you can see in the photo. It just swaddles the baby to allow them to sleep nice and cozy like they are in the womb. And then once they're about 3 months old or strong enough to roll over, it's just the sack, and it's just essentially a zip up blanket. So the baby can't pull that over his or her head, and just really promotes safe sleep. I can guarantee you that if you put a baby doll on a table and a sleep sack, people are going to come up and ask what it is. A lot of people don't know. It's not something that just parents need to know. Everybody, anybody who is babysitting, a grandma, an aunt, a babysitter, everyone needs to know the importance of safe sleep if you are around the baby, especially an extended period of time, or maybe just somebody that doesn't know about it and then spreads the word, and you just never know the difference that you're making when you're speaking about it. So we talked about the Kiwanis Miracle Wall. This is one of the initiatives that we're really working hard on, that David Dixon had brought up, and we all thought it was such a great idea. The wall looks plain, as you can tell. That's a two-sided wall, and there's about 5 rows of plaques, but we have a lot of space to fill in. And one of the ways that we're trying to do that is with an enduring gift that deserves lasting recognition at Riley Hospital. So for the 4-year term, for $3,000, and you can extend that throughout the 4-year term. It's $3,000 for an individual gift or a family gift, and then $5,000 at the club level. And for that amount, you can get your name on a plaque, which we will unveil after this campaign is over. We'll hopefully have a ceremony at the hospital and unveil the wall. I've had a lot of questions about why is it $3,000, and that is because for $2,500. You can sponsor a wagon at the hospital, and that is just gets you, you sponsor a wagon at the hospital, and it gets you a plate on the back of a wagon. That is unfortunately just a temporary sponsorship opportunity, because we turn over wagons at least every year. If not, they last about a year to 2 years, depending on how much use they get. So hospital administration just insisted that this gift, since it is a permanent naming opportunity at the hospital, that it needed to be more than that temporary naming opportunity. I was able to just get it a $500 bump. The next permanent naming opportunity in the hospital is $100,000, and that's to name or to sponsor a room. And that just gets you a small plaque outside of the room, and it's smaller than a piece of paper. So as you can imagine, that kind of puts things into perspective of this is a really cool opportunity, especially since a lot of people aren't seeing family this year. So you're not going to be in front of family to, pass gifts back and forth. I have a lot of people who are considering pitching in money as a family to have their family name on a plaque on the wall, and I think that's just such a cool way to have a naming opportunity. It's a permanent naming opportunity, and you're making such a big difference. And why not invite them to the unveiling ceremony and just really see the impact directly, and to share with your families what a difference Kiwanis has made overall at Riley. A lot of people probably don't know that. So it's a kind of a great way to show off at the same time. One other way that we are fundraising in this crazy world right now is virtually. So we now have these online donation pages, which they take about 6 minutes to set up. We have an overall Kiwanis page, and then we're asking clubs to get involved and to have a club page. And you can share updates on your club page very easily just by the click of a button. By adding a video or a picture, you can update it as much as possible. But it's also a great way to promote your events. And people, if you have an event where you want people to just register and you don't have any costs to pay out of it, you can use these pages, and people can, because a lot of people don't carry cash anymore, they can make a donation to your Kiwanis page. And then it's also a great way to track any of your fundraising towards your club plaque. But then once you have your club page, you can set up an individual page, and you can share that on your social media. You can email it to people. As you can see, once you set up the page, you can just click this and it will share immediately to your Facebook page, which you can add text to Twitter, or you can email it to family and friends and it will have the link. We even have the verbiage set up. I have offered to hop on a Zoom and walk people through setting up a page. It takes about 6 to 7 minutes max to set up a page. Because I think it's a lot easier. I don't want you to just set up a page and then not know how to use it. So I love to be able to have the access to set up the page, show you how to use it. And then as soon as we hop off, you can start sharing away and fundraising. So let me know if you're interested. I'm more than happy to help you with that. That is all I have for today. I'm happy to help with anything. Like I said, that's what I'm here for. It's why I love my job. I love the fact that I can still do this from home and support your needs and be here. And even if it's just a check-in, let me know how I can help. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna try to stop sharing, but my screen is not. Does anyone have any questions?
Sure, I think there's quite a few. I know that I have. Taka, you're on here. Could you share some information about your travels of pushing the cart and telling people about the cart? Obviously, Amber has a good history of that and what's going on there and how it's affected her. But I'd like to see Taka. Maybe you can share a little bit of that.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. Yeah, it's a very different experience from regular Kiwanis activities in a way that you actually see the impact right away. So when you push the cart, you go through all the rooms from top 9th floor to the 3rd floor, and then you knock each door, and then if there's parents, you ask, if you need anything. So in the cart, you have all the basic stuff, toiletries, blanket, magazines, snacks. Chocolates are always everybody's favorite. But they, many of the parents are there not knowing that they have to stay there. So, they need, and everybody in the Riley Hospital comes for their kids, and nobody is taking care of them, the parents. So we are there pushing the cart to help kids' parents, which I think will be all the parents over there is very nervous, anxious, but if we can be there to help them, and if they become calmer, we hope that kids can feel that and become a bit calmer too. So it's been a great experience for me to just push the cart and say hello and, give them some attention when all the attentions are to the kids, rightfully so. But so, yeah, I mean, Gary and Terry and Rumi has been pushing the cart. So we encourage you to, if you have time and when this pandemic is over, encourage everybody to come and help us push the cart.
Thanks, Taka. Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's no experience like it. To see in some cases, teenagers that are out there, they're in those beds, but to go through that NICU and see those babies that are in just a little rocking thing, and it's just amazing. But the big thing, like I've told all the parents when we go through there, is we let the hospital take care of the kids, and we try to take care of the parents, because to have that stuff available to them is very, very important. And so we do try to do that. And I've hit on everybody in the club to bring blankets and chocolates and Snickers bars. I think I've told everybody Snickers are the best thing to go. But we haven't collected for a while because we haven't been pushing the cart. So we do still, or we will need it more when we get back there. But I think at this point too, the big thing is to try to contribute to that, the new program that they have for the wall, and get the new pledge to hire those doctors that can work with the NICU and the parents too. So we'll keep on that. Remember we had Darren Foreman here about a year ago before his accident, but Darren does a lot of the prenatal stuff for working with the Crawfordsville Fire Department. Works a lot with parents that need that stuff, and they're pushing the same thing, the ABCs of sleep, all of it. So we need to be help pushing that thing out, and so everybody knows it. To have 600 kids that are born in Indiana and never see their first birthday is horrible. It's tragic, and we need to get to the point that that's zero, and we can do it with some of the projects that are going on. So anybody else have questions?
Amber, you made the comment that you don't deliver babies at Riley. Is that a function of the pandemic, or historically has that always been the way it's been?
That's always been the case. They've
Really?
always, babies have always been delivered at University Hospital or Methodist Hospital and then transferred immediately or, when needed. Unfortunately, it just, we didn't have the capacity in the space. And then once the Simon Family Tower opened, it really opened up the older portion of the hospital that has been vacant, and it's been under construction for about about 2 years, I want to say. So we're really, really excited about the opportunity. It's absolutely necessary. Like I said, we have 60 beds in our NICU and it is full all the time. Um, Another great example of this that really opened my eyes. I live and breathe this. We talk about this all the time. I'm a mom of two kids, and my little girl was I had to see an MFM specialist when I was pregnant with her. So, unfortunately, I'm personally aware of how important it is. But I have one of my best friends since preschool. Her sister finally got pregnant from her second round of IVF recently. And when she was 22 weeks pregnant, she started swelling up really bad. Thankfully, my friend, her sister, noticed it because she's a nurse and told her to contact her doctor, and she did immediately. She's been in the hospital for about 5 weeks. Couldn't leave. Once she went to the doctor, they immediately admitted her, and they had to do an emergency C-section Monday of this week. Her baby was only, she's 27 weeks pregnant. Her baby is 1.9 pounds. And they were able to save her. And mom is doing well. But as you can imagine, she's going to be in the hospital for a while. And it is just so common and scary, especially right now with the pandemic. Nobody can go in and see her. They're going to be extra cautious. She probably won't be able to come home. They'll probably keep her in the hospital even longer until, all this kind of slows down a bit. But that just goes to show you, I mean, she's been seeing an MFM specialist for at least 10 weeks. But thank God they started seeing her, watching her more closely when they did, because they saved her baby's life. So it's just hugely important. One thing that I love about working with Kiwanis is that you always seem to be right there tackling the most important things. I mean, look what you did with the early evaluation for autism screenings. Such an impact in our state. And to be right there front and center with something that's so important and something that everyone can understand. Even if you don't have your own kids, somebody who had a baby, right? And this is something that we can all understand. We can all understand that over 600 babies don't see their first birthday every year. That is a huge problem. We are parallel to some third world countries, and that is not a statistic we want to be a part of. So I feel like it's so important, and I'm so excited for Kiwanis to be backing this, because I know how dedicated all of you are, and I'm excited for you to have something that it's in the news. And when you see it on the news, you can feel like you're a huge part of it. So I truly can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And if you do have any questions, or if there's anything that I can help with, reach out to me via email or call my cell phone, since my office phone is forwarded to my cell phone, but I don't always trust technology. So calling my cell phone is probably the easiest way.
Any other questions? Amber talked about the swaddle and the sleep sack and all of that. I've got one of those in my car. All I need is a little doll, but we can show that thing off. I mean, we've got those. I bought them from the safety store. And by the way, Amber, is that safety store open now, or?
They've been closed mainly because we have been so strict on restrictions of who's in the hospital. But they are still taking online orders, and they're going in several days a week and filling orders for pickup. So they're open, just not open all day, every day like they have been.
Okay.
But yeah, those sleep sacks are about $30 if you buy them in the store, and they're $10 to $14 if you buy them in our safety store. So
right, bike helmets. They've got all kinds of bike helmets and everything. And with this being the Christmas season, Santa can't bring everything. So if you're looking for a gift for a child, maybe who's learning how to ride a bike helmet is great. And you save a lot of money really going through the safety store than getting them at other stores. So, you know, take a look at that. They've got some great items for the kids and for the families, and you know, even the protection things that you put in the plugs and all of this stuff they've got at that safety store. So take a look at it. Anybody else? Questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. Next week will be another Zoom meeting. Speaker will be Paul Jadell from Jadell Enterprises, who's the owner operator of 9 different McDonald's around here, and hopefully a new corporate partner for us. So we're gonna be talking to him next week, and looking forward to that. Remember to wear your mask and stay safe. And this is the quote of the day: to give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that's sincerity and integrity. So thank you all very, very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.